Yes.
Okay. Okay, let me start. So like this session is like I'm gonna talking about like how to get into UX and / product design. So these days, like like the product design has more like demand in the market, but like the definition can be very confusing. So I'm gonna say just like UX UI design. Let me start. So, and hello, like thanks for joining today. Hopefully you have a good evening. I had like same event like last year, and I tried to like keep it every month, but like I don't really like have an idea like what to what kind of tips you need, like so like if you want anything from like this meetup, or like if you there's some kind of tips, just like email me and let me know so I can help more people and more regularly. So anyone is welcome to this event, but please make sure, like I don't like to see your face, so it can be more interactive and can be more like exciting, like an experience for me. So if you don't mind, would you just like turn on the video? And I might like ask lots of questions to someone, like turn on the video, like Sam, don't hide. Yes, like okay, cool, yeah, and like Che, yeah, hi, yeah. Okay, so like I will cover like some like questions that most students ask before they join like our school. So we have like frequently asked question of the list. So like if you have like anything you want to know, like just I will try to answer anything as long as I know. And but the most important thing is what kind of qualification you need to get a UX design to get a job as a designer. So your purpose, maybe like for some people, is to get a job, not just learn it, right, as a hobby, something. So there are certain skills and certain requirements, as well as procedures, and the most companies that hire UX designers, they require. So like you need to keep those like requirements, otherwise it could be very hard to get a decent job. So before I start this presentation, to make it extra clear, I'm talking about a product designer rather than UX design. So it can be confusing without exploring backgrounds, but I will use the term UX design. The first part is like taste of UX design. And the second part would be like, like different paths to learn UX design. And the last part, I'm going to share like, what you need to prepare to get a job as a UX designer. That's your like final goal, right? So let me do it like quickly. So then like you might think like, who are you like, talking to us? And I've heard for some UX school. So like, please give me 5 minutes to introduce myself. And my name is Minnie, and I moved to the UK 5 years ago with like 7 years of designer, UX designer, and 5 years of teaching background in universities. So my main subject in the universities and design school was also the portfolio development. So when I moved to the UK, I found this very, very, very much like, different between the Asian and Western design process and portfolios. Our portfolio has a certain format, and the requirements from companies are totally different. But I found many Asian designers, they didn't notice it because there was no one and no place to teach it. For the first year in the UK, like I've met so many Asian designers who came with portfolio they made in their home country. And they came to the UK. As a result, they failed to get a job here and ended up returning their home. So this is why I founded a design academy which provides the agents with a proper design education to build a proper portfolio. So I knew like what we should do, like, and also I knew like our own weaknesses as a foreigner. So we need to overcome our language barrier, our visa barriers, and cultural differences, and none of which apply to local people. So like my strategy was to teach, like, my students to develop really, like, good the portfolio. So they just like surpass all their barriers, like overcome all those, like, things. And can you guess like how the result was? So our school founded in 2020, and can you guess how the result was? You don't care? Yeah, Sam.
So I'm assuming that because of this start of the pandemic, I'm sure a lot of people needed new jobs, and they're probably at home just signing up for courses, and your course probably did really well.
Yeah, yes, it couldn't be much better. It has been an amazing, fruitful time for both academy and the students. So like initially I thought like the design agencies or startups would be the most suitable companies for them, because these small companies have, the quicker hiring processes and less requirements. So even more, the agencies are more likely to sponsor visa for a skillful person. So I would recommend them, but I was wrong. Can you see this result? Like it didn't take long before I found so many of our students exceeded our expectation. Instead of small companies, they got a job in a big corporation like Amazon and like Microsoft, JP Morgan here in the Canary Wharf, and like the Booking Holdings. Yes, lots of like in a big corporate. And some grads even got hired directly from Korea for the job in the US. But even if they stay in their home countries, the salary of our grad is almost twice more than other junior designers. I believe it's because they were able to get a job from a global startup company, not from just like smaller companies with a smaller budget. So, and this is why we decided to open this event and why I am here. So like, I just want to say like, in spite of, like our disadvantages as foreigners, like our grads have made brilliant results when they received the proper education. So because of our success, we decided to make our course available in English so that the locals can also benefit from this course. Probably like most of you don't have to be screened out because of the language or visa or cultural background, because most of you like local, right? So therefore, you can have a high possibility of getting a good job. And okay, and then, so let's assume that like all of you are interested in UX design, right? So let's take this time as a chance to see what you need to start as a UX designer. Just because you are interested in UX design, that doesn't mean you have to take a course, right? So you can just like find some to taste and see that UX design is something for you. So Coursera is for this. Coursera has like free UX course, or you can find some like with tip, like in a price, Udemy as well. Or you can just like go to the YouTube and find some like UX tips, UX designers talking about UX, design and like how the life in the company. UX design is a very multidisciplinary subject. So you will see it has lots of different approaches like computing, psychology, and the business industry and so on. But be careful. So like, some people here, like I haven't seen many people confused with this like free recorded online course like Google on Coursera, Udemy, or Interaction Design Foundation course. Like with proper the proper whole course of the boot camp. So you can get some knowledge from those the basic course, but it's not enough. I'm not gonna say it's enough to build a high quality portfolio and give enough impression to your hiring manager. So I saw someone on the Facebook saying, "Hey, I just finished the UX boot camp and I don't know how to get a job." So I just saying, "Oh, how you finished the boot camp and how you don't know how to get a job?" Because boot camp should be meant to get a job, right? And he said, "Oh, I just finished it Google on Coursera things." So Coursera is something you can taste and see how UX fits to you, but it's not enough. It doesn't give you enough knowledge and skill set, as a UX designer, at least to me. So, actually, this economic downturn also UX, there are UX designers demand for UX design is getting decreased. So to get a job, you have to be a high quality designer. It's not just designer, high quality designer. So UX designer job is one of well-paid jobs, and if you think you can get a job after doing free course, why do companies have to pay them much money? You should think about it. So it's very multidisciplinary, knowledge, some of the knowledge, and they also need lots of experience from UX designers. So you need to get lots of the skill sets, the experience to give high quality of UX design. Once you decide to pursue UX design as a career, as your career, the next step must be building project and the portfolio. So this is one of our grad design. Then grad design. So can you see? So this is how you design on Figma, and then you might ask, how do you prove that I'm a high quality designer? So you show your skill set and potential as a high quality designer, you should present a high quality portfolio, as this portfolio is representative of the designer. So you need to make this one. You need to make this the portfolio with 3 projects. Then how you can make, how can you make the portfolio and which options are there? I'm gonna. Oh, there are 3 most common paths to become a UX designer, but I'm gonna cover 2 of them because master's courses everyone knows go to school to become a UX designer is not the the option that everyone can have. Let's begin with the self-taught path. So while I know lots of great developers who taught themselves, I'm a bit cautious about self-studying in UX design. It's not about the business for me. It's about 2 things. So I've met some people, they say, "Hey, I developed portfolio by myself. Can you evaluate my portfolio?" So I don't usually evaluate someone's portfolio other than my students, because I still have lots of students to help portfolio, and the more the important the reason is they will not understand what I'm saying, because that's the things because you taught yourself, you just have on your own knowledge. So the whole quality of the design process is very unreliable. You can't guarantee the quality of your own work because you're gonna, of course, you think it's good as you work on it. But like, if I ask, how can you be so sure that like, your UX process is good? Like, when you built it by yourself. So our company has like bootcamp, like UX, Blossom UX, but also our company has global UX consultants company. So we have like 5 UX designers, 3 lead designers, and 2 junior designers.
Like right now,
Whenever we,
I might not tune in because I've got everything always a little negative.
whenever we hire junior, whenever we hire designers, like the self-taught designer would be never considered for our company because like the nature of UX design entails teamwork. Like it's all about like team play. One of the most important assets of UX designers is team play. You have to show you have team spirit, good communication skills, and a well-balanced approach to pass interviews. It's because most UX designers work in teams. Most of the journey in a UX career is about giving up your ego, yourself, and listening to others' opinions. Working as a UX designer, especially as a product designer, is all about making other team members understand your design and communication with other departments. The developers in your team won't quite understand your design. And this is very obvious. And the business staff don't have to know the design process. So it is your main job to make them understand when they see and hear your project. So, but it could be very tricky to develop the character and like prove that you are a team player, with all like these self-taught project. So like unreliable project, quality and like lack of team spirit. So this is like why I'm not really a big fan of a self-study in UX design. And then you might consider like, then like I can like join a course. All right. But once you start searching, what kind of courses should I join? Like, then you will find there are like so many different courses in different formats. And so the good thing is like you can choose the best option for your life, your personality, your study style. But this is a like very, very important thing. So you need to write down or just like remember this. Make sure like if the course covers like the portfolio development, because from my experience, 99% of my students, like in our school, have loved like all like learning process, UX design course, the product design course, everything. But some students, they have disappeared or dropped the course during portfolio development because like, it's the toughest and also the most boring part in the course. So I could find some courses, I could find some like bootcamp. They don't include portfolio development in their course and just like let people, do it yourself. It's not in our course, so you do it yourself. But that you can't do anything without portfolio. So, like, just make sure, like, you can find like all different format, all different like styles of course. But if they don't offer like portfolio development course, it's useless. You can't even apply for a job. So, just make sure that. So when you decide to join a course, one option could be a recorded online courses. It's self-paced with personal feedback from designer mentors. It could be the best option if you have a flexible schedule or live in a different time zone. It has vast content, so it takes long time from 600 hours to 11 months without any pressure, meaning it could be very hard to complete it, and you have to be very self-disciplined. But like, I know like some people just like finish this self-paced internet course and successfully got a job in the UK or in the US. So if this is right for you, you can go for it. But like the most popular thing is maybe the boot camp from a like private academy like us. And this is a good option if you want a faster and a more efficient way to learn and prepare for a job. Also, it's more likely that the instructors or teachers with teaching backgrounds will give you better structured learning experiences than designer mentors. There are lots of types of bootcamp, like online, in-person, full-time, part-time. And also like tuitions, tuition range can vary, vary like greatly, like depending on various factors, like from like this could be like, from like $16K to like $6,000. This is like online bootcamp, like another like alternative option, and like our school has like this kind of format. It's like kind of short period, competitive rates, but also like you need to assign some sort of time for the student for like homework. That's like biggest pain point. So like it doesn't matter like if you like offer like I want like on-site full-time bootcamp, or like I like to go like online. I like to go online like part-time bootcamp. Like it doesn't matter. Like you need to find like best option for your lifestyle. But as I said earlier, the most important thing is that you need to find this, the course that includes all like portfolio development. So like we have very low. So like honestly, like in our school, we have very low drop rate during the course, but 20% of students who completed course, but failed to finish portfolio development, and then they just disappeared. So like this is like our biggest pain point for like boot camps like us. That's why lots of like boot camps and like companies, they just like exclude the portfolio development from their course and just guys, do it yourself. We just finished the course. But like, and then it could be like hard if you just like have to develop the portfolio website by yourself, because you need to check all like the contents in a consistent way, and more like you're gonna use it later on interview session. There's master's course, there's a pros and cons, but like I believe like everyone understands like what is good thing to study degree or like bad thing, time and money, things like this. Hey, do you have any questions so far?
Hi, Mindy.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's Melody speaking. My camera is turned off here. I did a boot camp in France for a designer.
Mm-hmm.
And, as you mentioned, like for the portfolio, we had like one appointment to speak about it a bit. And I have to say, I think now for me, it's kind of the struggle. I think it's not, I would say, good enough. Because the feedback I had is that I need to develop more my graphic kind of capacity, I would say. Do you have maybe any advice, even like if I can, I don't know if your school do it, for example, take 1 hour like appointment with someone to give me like some feedback about it?
So you mean the portfolio, the evaluation.
Yeah.
So like that's like tricky. It's like even though like I give you like I used to give lots of like evaluations to our students or like to someone who asked me. But the first thing is like, it's I will cover it later, but like the first thing is about so you need to find the job description, like they want to see like how well connected your interest and your experience like connect to their like job thing.
Okay.
And if they are looking for like UX UI design and you don't like, I know like some of the youth bootcamp, they just like UX design, like they don't do UI design, then they are looking for UX UI design, then it's not gonna work. So like but like if you think like like if I say like and the thing is like if I say like oh like the contents are not enough, then like what contents, that's the thing, because like we yeah, I think like you should ask like the bootcamp you took, what you can like improve from your portfolio, because they're gonna have their own strategy. And like we have strategy. So like when we say like we have like it's our style. So like if I say, oh, like you need more like content and you need more like show like UX process, like how to solve design like problems, then you might not get understand what I'm saying. But yeah, but I will like cover, like I will explain what this portfolio for. Yeah, so you can just like evaluate by yourself, like my portfolio, maybe this is like lack from my portfolio. And can I ask, how long have you searched for a job? When did you come to the course?
I completed the course like at the end of 2021, but after I took also a degree in JavaScript, the coding, which was quite long. And in the meantime, like I had some health issues, so I had to step back a bit. And I started to search really for a job maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. And the feedback I have is like it was only case study during the bootcamp. Like it was 3 case studies, and they are asking for people with, I would say, more experienced. They want like more senior product designer. And I'm trying to maybe improve on my side, like with some other like case studies or, I don't know.
I think like you just like, like keep developing, your skills, like with the UX and like UI and the final deliverance, because like, learning, like how to use JavaScript, that's very good, the big advantage for like UX designer. So it's just like keep applying, and I will let me give you like the really good tips. This is like checkpoint.
Okay.
Like, so for everyone, this is checkpoint. These 5 questions is about yourself. So you need to ask yourself before you're making any decisions. I'm gonna become a UX designer, or like I'm gonna join the course and pay like £1,000. Like, no, before join the course, before making any decisions, you need to ask yourself, why do you want to study UX design? And like, why do you want from the course? What do you want from the course? And what's your budget? How many hours can you spend on studying? And what's your plan after the course? Then next 5 are for the course. Like, you need to ask the course leader or a course like the constant like says like, does this course include at least 3 projects? And does this course cover portfolio development? And does this course teach also UI design? Because without UI design, it's hard to make the portfolio website like very appealing. Okay. And do you get one more feedback from instructor? I know some like in a boot camp, they just like finish the course and bye-bye. And then you don't have like no contact with the instructors. And so you just like have to wait until like the next course, to ask like any questions to the instructors. So check like, do you get one-on-one feedback? And so like the last numbers, does it provide enough skills for design challenge? And I'd like to change it to like, do your course like provide career support? I mean, career support means like include the design challenge. So it was Amber, right? Amber who talked to me about like the bootcamp. No? Who was it who talked about bootcamp? Just talk about.
It's me. I talk about like a bootcamp I took.
Okay, so like I can't see like who's talking.
Melody.
Melody. Okay, so does your like bootcamp provide career support? Like career support means like after the course.
Yeah, I would say that at the beginning, maybe like I would say during 1 or 2 weeks, but the portfolio was like took quite a bit of time, I think, to finish properly. And I could feel like when they started with the other boot camps, they didn't reply, and like the question were still like unresponded. So I didn't really feel like I had the feedback I needed at the time.
That's what most boot camp did. So we like our company, like our boot camp, like so we decided to give like career support until you get a job. So I think like that's like what you say is correct. Like not many students just finish their portfolio development in the course time. So many of them they finished it, completed it like a few months later than they've completed the course. So yeah, I think like Meredith, like you can send me your portfolio link. So if I can give you some feedback, I will give. Yeah. Yeah. So 10th question is like, when you choose the course, just like think, does the course provide career support until you get a job? That's the thing. So
sorry, can you clarify which platforms are used to make these portfolios?
There are lots of platforms. So, and we change it, like it's a bit trendy. So we used to use like this WordPress, like, every platform has like good point and bad point. So you can choose like, according to like what you want. So we used to use like WordPress, but we switch it to Webflow. And some of our students do, sorry, it's like Korean. This one is, some people just like the made with Squarespace. Have you heard of it? Squarespace. But I just like, okay, Squarespace is it's a like portfolio, the template website that you can just like build.
Squarespace. Yes.
Squarespace. I don't recommend this. It could be very like, static. So because like, as a UX designer, it's more interaction design is very important, right? And the Squarespace doesn't support that. So we don't use Squarespace, but some students, they need to finish it like earlier than the course. Then they make it. Yes. Now she made it with using Squarespace. So all Squarespace looks like this. That's why I don't like it. It's hard to make like any interaction design. So, and also these days, if you need like, I like using Framer. Framer is amazing. So if you just want to, I don't want to develop working with developer or like I don't know any like developing knowledge, then just like go for like Framer. Framer is kind of, you can just think like it's very similar to Figma. So once you know how to design on Figma, it's easy to design on Figma. Like yeah, no, I mean like it's just like heard noise. So
Oh,
you
okay, thank you. I haven't heard of Framer before.
sign up or log in and just no. It's just like the frame is useful because you know like how to design, then you can just like use a publish button, then you can make design. Make any design, then publish it. Then like it becomes like in your West portfolio. I will show you like some of my students' website that they made with this guy. So you can see frame app. So here's like the student in Berkeley University, and he made it in a Framer app. So it's like just like design it as you design on the Figma, and then just like click the button, publish it. So it's easy. It doesn't have to be a hassle to develop website, right? Yeah. So like, what's good questions? Like what kind of platform do you use? Do I use like to develop portfolio? Those 4 things: WordPress and Webflow. Those are like I'm using, and you can use Squarespace and Wix, but like I don't recommend it. Or you can the Framer could be good option if you just want to make it easier. Did it help?
Oh,
Yes,
can you
thank
give
you. That's very
can you give us the first 2 ones for developing the website, please? Again, I think I didn't catch the first 2.
Oh, what's the question? What is first 2 of?
Yeah, besides the score space and Framer, what's the other 2?
This one is WordPress.
Oh, WordPress. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but WordPress we were using, and also this one is Webflow.
Webflow. Okay.
Yes. Though these 2 platforms are hard to develop with a developer. But the thing is, like we are using, we're working with a developer. Because we have developers in our company. So like the biggest advantage working with developers, like one of the most frequently asked question on an interview is like, have you ever worked with a developer? Then you can say, oh yes, I did in my bootcamp. And the second thing is like, when you're working with the developers, you can use this kind of the interaction design. But if you just like work by yourself, it's just like the design itself is hardly can do any interaction. You can put the interaction like this, but it has like very like limited one. So if you have a developer, so you can work with like the developer, then like WordPress and Webflow are recommended. But if you just want to work by yourself, then Squarespace or the Framer. That's the platforms that you can use.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of problem with all the schooling, because you are more like a solo worker. When you develop your own portfolio, you don't really work with any developer besides maybe they give you a mentor, or like classmates. but they're not developers. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I'm not gonna say you will never like get a job like if you do like self-studying. So you eventually you will get a job, but like no, it will take lots of like time, lots of failure. So like it's not really like time-wise and money-wise, it's not really efficient way. So if you can like it's just like find really good like course and just like finish it quick and very efficient way that I recommend one.
I have one question, like, because I see a lot of people graduate from boot camps, variety of the boot camps. I think they still facing the job searching part. Can you give us like maybe some hints or tips? What will make like job hunting easier?
Yeah. Yes. So okay, so it was really good questions. I'm not gonna like like really big UX bootcamp, right? Like international bootcamp. They cost like 16K or 13K, like dollars to like complete, right? And I've heard many of hiring managers say that the grad from those like big boot camp, because they got trained how to answer the interviews, how to like develop the portfolio. And so like lots of hiring managers say, so like everyone says same, like answer same, think same, and like they design same. So like I've heard like they are just like try that's like the biggest issue from like big international boot camp, because they are using too much template. So like this is why, even though like it's such a pain point for our like boot camp school, we just like give like a very personal feedback to each students, have like encourage them develop their unique portfolio website. And if you go to like in other like international like big bootcamp, like you will see like everyone has like same templates, like in the same manner and like same project. And so this is like why they have like they have difficulty finding a job. So the tips is this, like you need to show your personality. Like you need to show like what kind of designer you are, like on your portfolio. This is thing. So you can see like this girl called Amy, and you can see like what kind of person she is, like what kind of designer she is. You can like assume like their personality. Like from Jade, you can see like, oh, Jade, she might be like very fancy, like very outgoing, like because like her design is very bold, and she designs so confidently. So this is like tip, like I want to give you all, like when you make a portfolio website, you should like show your personality. You should let other people understand what kind of person you are, and what kind of designer you are. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that helps. Great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, advice. Would there be anything like when you pick a project, will any subject be more tension focused for high managers, or because I guess everyone's doing similar stuff, similar projects, because they all share ideas. And honestly, I don't know there's so many. I've seen a lot of people's portfolio, and even with industry projects, a lot of them, they all look the same, similar.
Yeah.
Everyone's copying everyone's fonts, everything, even with just products that's being out for companies, they all start to look the same too.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, sure. As a student who's developing our projects or researching for our project, is there anything like we should really be focused on to show that, I don't know, we are maybe unique in a way.
Yeah, so like the answer is here. Answer is like in your not in your like the right answers are from in the job descriptions. So like, oh, what kind of project I should do? Like, you need to search it. What kind of industry, what kind of markets want UX designer? So why you're like working on like entertainment industry, like making like an entertainment application, that you can't like expect to get a job in finance industry. So if you see like go to the LinkedIn, go to Glassdoor, like Indeed, and if you see many like you probably, if you are in the UK, like you probably see most of companies in SaaS software or fintech, they are looking for like UX designer. Of course, they are looking for like a project with the fintech knowledge and like fintech in experience. So this girl, like Amy, she got a job from the JP Morgan in Canary Wharf. But like when in her like interview, like why she has like 4 different projects, the interviewers like there's only the interested in this one because like it's the same industry. So if you want to get a job, like it could be like one more tip. So yeah, so like when you match like your experience in the industry, like it's a high possibility to get a job. And I would say the most of our students will get a job from the company whose website is very similar to their portfolio design. So this is like the big thing. Yeah. So I will show. So when you choose like the subject, you need to choose like from the market, from the industry. Does it make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. So like you can see like there is also like skill sets they want to see. So like create best-in-class design solutions and user experiences or something. So like they say they're gonna see design some like user task flows, wireframes, and UI specification. So like you can see, oh, like if you don't have UI design, they can be like tricky, right? So like look at the all like job description and find what skills you need to show, what industry knowledge you need to show in your project. That's things that I can give you as a tip. And you might, and you might like, you need to ask me. So, well, can I get a job then? Like, like if I have a portfolio with like 3 projects, as you said, what could be the answer? You think, does anyone have, have experience applying for a job in the UK, in the UX designer, as a UX designer? Have you, or like anyone is on the process of like applying, job hunting?
I talked to a couple of people who's graduate from the US boot camp, and some of them, I think they're still searching, and all their worry was the market is tough because I guess it's really economy and related. So I think they were still looking. And all the boot camps, most of them have 3 portfolios. Some have 1 portfolio, which maybe that's an issue, but the ones I've talked to, they all have 3 portfolios. They're being some searching. It's been more than half year, almost a year, and they're still searching. So honestly, I don't know whether it's really that they didn't have experience in UX before, or was it their portfolio was not unique enough, or was the issue of whether their location where they lived is it's really not in the urban city that, I don't know, but because UX UI jobs nowadays are more remote. So,
Yes. Yes.
um,
Yes. So like, I want to give you one more tip. Good question. Yeah, because like, this, you says like, it's like, actually it's downtown in UX design, and every like, business sector is downtown in this. But like 2 weeks ago, like one of our grads in Korea, she got a job from the company. It's a remote, from the company in UK, sorry, the US, America. And it's a remote job, and she's gonna move to the Canada to work in the same the time difference. But I will show this company hired my the grad, and like I will show like my grad portfolio. It's like this. It's very similar, like the how she present, the way her portfolio is like very similar. So this is why I'm saying like you need to show like a personality in your portfolio, because there was like, yeah, very like, from my experience is 100% is so like, you can increase the possibility to get a job like once like you have find the company. So like homepage and your portfolio site has very like similar things. So like, the reasons why your friends haven't found a job yet, but there are so many like reasons. So I can't say anything, but like you can just like, yeah, you can like hopefully like, not gonna have like same experience like them.
thank you. That's great advice.
So after the course, okay, this is one thing. So like, even though like you have portfolio, it's not, the portfolio doesn't guarantee any like job, getting a job. And once your portfolio pass the first stage, then they're gonna ask you for the task. Like it's called design challenge. So you need to learn how to finish design challenge. So it can be very, very long session. It can be like another session. And we cover this like in career support. And I think like some of bootcamp, they also do design challenge thing. So if you are in the UK, 100%, like, with the possibility that you're going to have design challenge once you start applying for a job in the UX design as a UX designer. And so most companies will require you to pass at least one design challenge task, 3 interview processes, and a presentation on average. So you need to prepare how to present your project, like, like in 10 minutes in a like very organized way. And this is, and also if you have like some time after the course, it's good to try side project with a real experience, real industry. It's good to try a side project as it can be added to your CV and will increase the chance of getting hired. It's okay even if a pro bono, which means you don't get paid any money from it, but because what you need is a real life experience, it's okay. It's okay. So like side project could be another option. And so this is the presentation I prepared, and I would cover like 3 questions that like my students ask most. First is tools. So how important are tools in design? Out of 10, like 1 to 10, like how important? 1 is like not important, like 10 is very important.
I will say 10, I guess.
10, okay. And
I
anyone?
say
I would
probably a
say
6. Yeah.
6? Yeah.
Yeah, 6,
okay.
7.
6, 7, okay. Quite like high still. And anyone like 1 or 2? Anyone? No? Okay. So tools are like important for now, but like as you are career, and like as you get more careers, like tools the more. Yeah. Okay, so currently most companies are using Figma, but they're gonna ask you if to use Sketch, Adobe XD, or other UX UI tools. So tools, I think tools tools are important right now, but like it's the like last thing you need to worry about because like tools keep changing. So I used the Sketch and like the 5 years ago, until before like the Figma was created. So Figma is quite new. Like it came like in 2018, like when like Adobe XD came, 2015. Like so they're quite new, and like tools keep changing, and you can find so many YouTube videos teaching tools, and it should take around 2 hours to learn. And so like in our course, like we do more like side classes. It's rather than the it's a regular courses because it's so easy. Like all like students can learn with like 2 classes. So although UX UI tools are very intuitive, which means once you know how to use Figma, you can use all other like UX UI tools, Sketch, Framer, or like XD or something. So, and like no one can guarantee that we will still use Figma in the next 5 or 10 years. Some senior designers don't even know how to use Figma at all, but they still can work like, with getting good salary, right? So, but So when you design, like, tool is not really important because it's not gonna be like, headache. Like you will find it's not gonna take long time to learn how to use tools, but like there are more important thing than like design itself. So the most important thing is like you need to make it as consistent, and you need to use like component design system for the team project. It's not about individual project. So what you need to learn is to make it as a component and naming, grouping, labeling. That's the thing. So this is something that you can do by yourself. This is why self-study is not really valued in UX design. It's something, it's about like teamwork. So like you need to name it for other people understand. And you need to make it as component for other people can revise it easily. So this is like more important in like design sector. And then second one, project. So I said like 3 projects, but like all 3 projects you need. This is things like the hiring manager will ask you like, can you do web design? And have you ever done like web development? So you need to include it in your project. And the second is like, they're gonna ask, have you ever created design system? So you need to make design system. And is there any redesign project, or like can you do like from end to end scale design? So this is a concept design. So you need to plan the product, and you need to finish the product. So like you need to finish the whole scale of design. This is like what companies you need, want to see from your portfolio. This is thing. And so tips on portfolio. So you need to learn to make a portfolio. You need to learn how to design website first. So like it's hard to make like a good portfolio website once without learning and how to design on like big device. But if you don't have a chance to learn it, then use a template. Template could be like good option. Like also she used the template, so it's good, right? So you can use a template, or for more information, you can check our next event. And do you have any questions?
Thank you very much. You're great. It's very helpful.
Yeah. Is there anyone?
Yeah, I do have one question.
Mhm.
So, within the UX design, is there a specific way you can break into a certain, I guess for me, I like IA a lot more. I want to focus my goal is to get into information architecture. And
Yeah.
is there a specific way I can just try to finagle my way into that sort of I guess career wise?
Yeah, so like you if you want a specific like job, like rather than UX designer, like then like it's I would say like it's harder, because like for if you want to become like information architecture, do you have an engineering background?
No, but sort of, yeah.
So like when you say information architecture, like probably lots of like tech firm or like kind of like more than mid-sized firm would ask for higher like information architecture, and those size of corporate, they require like backgrounds or like degree or something. So and like information architecture is not like UX designer. So, but I recommend you start with like more general position and like a software engineer, and like then you can narrow down to like information architecture thing. But like you can change like I want to like the UX designer and like change it to information architecture unless you have computer science background or engineering background.
Would that be the same for the UX researcher position?
Oh yes, same. Yeah, because like what UX researcher are demanded for from big corporate, and big corporate, they are looking for someone with background, with a career background or like degree. So if you want to start like junior UX researcher, either you go for like master's degree, or you need to start as a UX designer and then develop your career. Then you narrow down into the UX researcher. So I've met so many like UX researchers, but with like PhD degree.
Will like a master's in science, health and science help in like research in healthcare field?
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
Would that even be like transferable to like financial banking industry, you think, or like insurance company?
Yeah, they can be tricky. So like I didn't say anything. I skipped this one. But if you see like fintech and SaaS and health tech, they're gonna like ask you if you have like specific like, experience. So like health tech company, they want a health background. Fintech company, they want like fintech finance background. It's not interchangeable. But like if you're lucky, you can do like health tech company, they want like some finance background or vice versa. Yeah.
Well, like I guess if you had entrepreneurship would that even help going to like the fintech for
Oh,
financial?
yeah. So like, I don't think you have many like, options for the industry. So like, I've researched about like the industry and like anyone is from the US and like, health tech companies like dominant, but like in the UK, fintech and also like SaaS. Yeah. So like, I try to stop my students like from doing like all entertainment application like tech working app or like like some kind of recycling application. So like I always ask like name the companies that the companies that makes like lots of benefit like lots of profits from like the application like recycling, sustainable design, or like the entertainment. So they're not really big in the industry for UX designers. So you might have like limited industry you can choose from. Yeah.
And sorry, I just have a question. So I would have studied product design in college, but it would have been more like industrial design. So I actually have a portfolio of like industrial work. And I'm wondering if I'm making a portfolio for UX design, am I better to like interlink them or keep them totally separate? Because I suppose they are still design skills, but just different ones.
Oh yeah, so like it's some of my like also like my students like ask the same one. If you have like former background experience, I would say no, because I always think like if you just like dive deep into like UX design, it's like very difficult career. But like, when you like, I can see some people just like graphic designer, UX designer, and like industrial designer with like 3 titles for the same person. That I find it the person very unprofessional, because UX, yeah. So one like sector is like I think like it's hard enough for like the whole like the life career. So yeah, so I'd rather
So you'd say leave out the industrial
yeah.
product portfolio.
Yeah.
Just keep them separate. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yes.
I have a question on applications of like, data science to UI UX, because I just finished a boot camp in data science and I was just curious about UI UX design because my parents are they majored in art and in fine art in Korea, and so I'm just curious about pivoting towards design with a data science background. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage?
First, like there's huge benefit if if you have like knowledge about the data IT industry. That's really a huge advantage like for the UX design. Yes. So thank you for joining today. I hope like it was helpful for you, and thank you for your time, and thank you for all your like participation on this event. Hopefully you can be a success on your like journey to become a UX designer. Yes. Have a nice evening.